In the year 1919, Saizo Yasu, who lived in Japan, wrote a poem named Tomino's Hell, which was published in a poetry collection book named Saki. As soon as this poem was published, many people started believing that this poem is cursed.
So, can a poem really be cursed, or is this all just a useless claim?
You must watch this video till the end, because here, I am going to talk about the Tomino's Hell poem and give my personal opinion about it. Let's move on to our story. And during the 1920s, people believed that whoever reads the Tomino's Hell poem aloud either gets into an accident or suffers some personal loss. And in the worst case, it can even lead to death. Not only this, the soul of that person also starts rotting in hell. After the publication of Tomino's Hell, it started being associated with some strange incidents, due to which people slowly started believing that this poem is actually cursed. Actually, when this poem was published, some readers experienced that the moment they completed reading the poem, they felt a certain heart attack, and majority of the readers also started complaining of headache. In the original published book, on a page before the poem, an ominous warning was clearly written that if you read this poem loudly, something bad will happen to you. Obviously, this poem became very famous in those days, but slowly, people forgot about it until the internet came into our lives, due to which this cursed poem is now available online. The story of this poem suddenly started getting a lot of attention on Japan's website 2chan, and readers of this poem from different areas started sharing their experiences in the form of pictures and videos. Talking about another incident, in 2000, it was found common in some suicide cases in Japan that the poem was present in the house of all the people who committed suicide. Talking about another famous incident on the internet, Reddit user Misiko Karkojo shared her experience in detail in one of her posts, and told that she had heard a lot about this poem. That is why she decided to try it. After completing the poem, Karkojo suddenly started having severe pain in his right knee, and then he heard his girlfriend screaming from the bathroom. Going there, Karkojo found out that there was an electric spark in the water heater, and almost a fire was about to break out. That day, Karkojo understood how unlucky and cursed this poem is. Thanks to the internet, people translated this poem into many different languages. But in other countries where this poem was translated and published, no unusual incident happened. This is the reason why people started believing that there is no danger in reading this poem in any language other than Japanese. That is why I am going to show some lines of this poem in English on my screen for all of you. So these were some lines of the poem. Now if you read the full poem, you will find some such disturbing lines in it. The poem tells the story of a small child named Tomino, whose two sisters used to behave very badly with him. Both of them used to punish Tomino and also used to hit him with a whip. Tomino died, and then his soul started traveling in hell. On interpreting the last line of the poem, a hell of a darkness without any flowers, it is clearly visible that Tomino died and he was buried in a dark coffin, and there was no one to see him. No one who loved him even placed a flower on his funeral. Here it can also be believed that Tomino was living a life worse than hell, and hell has been used here to describe the worst conditions of Domino. Now it also believes that Domino was beaten up by his sisters, and he got mentally disturbed because of all this. And this mental condition of his loneliness has been described as a dark and sad place by using the word hell. The tone of this poem is quite depressing, and whenever one reads the entire poem, the feeling of sorry for Tomino now. Let me make it very clear that I won't recommend that you read this poem. Now, if we talk about the writer of Domino Health Saizo, then probably no one has accurate information about him. But it is believed that he wrote this poem after the death of his sister or his father. He has arranged some specific words of this poem in such a way that it triggers sudden burst of emotions in the readers. One of the reasons this poem is not effective in other languages, because a translation can never be as accurate as the original material. Perhaps this is the reason why people get emotionally triggered after reading the original poem, because they start connecting it to some guilty or depressing moment of their life. These emotions force people to do wrong things, due to which this poem started being considered cursed. On the other hand, it was also said that the writer of Tomino's Hell had experienced a very bad personal loss, and due to this, he had to go through a lot of mental journey. At that time, no one came to support him, due to which he created the cursed Tominos hell before dying. He wanted that by reading this poem, people could get an idea of the kind of emotional turmoil the writer was going through. Many of you would want to know what my personal opinion is on this. Is this poem really cursed? Or are these all just people's fabricated stories? Well, my personal opinion is that it became very popular due to the tragic death of its writer, and being presented in the deaths of other big personalities. Some people started making fake stories related to this poem to gain fame or to scare others, like I got a headache after reading the poem, I had an accident, etc. Thousands of people have shared their incidents related to Tomino's hell poem, but very few of them are true. In fact, if something bad happens to someone coincidentally, then he starts connecting that incident with this poem. This poem leaves a psychological effect on the readers, due to which people start believing that something bad is far from happening to them, and somewhere this mindset affects their life in such a way that something bad happens to them. We all must have heard that many times people say in the house that if the slippers are kept upside down, then there will be fights in the house. And many times this happens. That happens not because the slippers are upside down, but because of people's mindset. On the other hand, when people have some small or big misadventure, they try to justify the curse of this poem by relating it to that. Some people also read this poem who are already going through some problem in their life. And because this poem can trigger people emotionally, those people find themselves more upset after reading this poem. This is the reason why I would advise all of you not to read it, because people start spreading such stories. And in the end, we see a bigger and totally different form of it. I mean, if in the beginning some readers explained that this poem targets sad emotions, then gradually, people started presenting it in a big way, and today, it is considered a cursed poem. So friends, that's all in today's video. If you liked the video, please like and share it. Before leaving, please subscribe to the channel as we keep bringing such videos on our channel.